Welcome to New York Theater Barn's New York Series.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Joe Barros, and I'm the Artistic Director of New York Theater Barn.
And I'm Jen Sandler, and I'm the Associate Artistic Director.
Hi, Jen.
Hello, Joe. It's just after 7 p.m., and I live in Hell's Kitchen, so I hear everybody cheering for the essential workers right outside my window.
I know, I hear dogs barking too. We are so grateful for everybody on the front lines who are risking their lives so we can all get back to ours.
Absolutely. And this is our 4th virtual installment of our new work series.
It sure is. And we have excerpts of 2 new musicals to share with you tonight, and they are Frankie and Agent 355.
But before we begin, we have a special guest to kick off this evening.
Yep, here to perform is Ruby Rakos, who recently played a young Judy Garland in Paper Mill Playhouse's new musical, Chasing Rainbows, The Road to Oz.
And here's Ruby.
Hello. Cat. Walked with no one and talked with no one, and I had nothing but shadows. Then one morning you passed, and I brightened at last. Now I greet the day and complete the day with the sun in my heart. All my worries blew away when you taught me how to say, grab your coat and get your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter pat? That happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover, she's crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'd rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover, she's crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'm rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street.
Wow, amazing as always.
Thank you.
So that's a Judy song, but that's not from Chasing Rainbows.
No, it's just, one of the many she's recorded, so.
Awesome.
Well, I saw their show at Paper Mill, and I loved it.
Thank you very much.
Me as well. I'm a big fan of Ruby Rakos and Michael Wartella.
Well, we're big fans of you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here tonight, Ruby. You were wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
All right. I'm still feeling the energy and excitement from last week's Newark series. We presented one of our favorite new musicals.
Yes, we sure did. We presented Janine Maguire and Ari Lawton-Simon's musical Borders, and that musical is inspired by the Israeli film The Bubble. And it tells the story of 2 men, an Israeli soldier and a Palestinian man who fall in love during the Second Intifada in early 2000s.
Yep. And you and I were excited that they chose to sing our favorite song from the show. Take a look.
Yeah.
The room was electric. And what I remember the most was the incredible anthem, Le'olam.
Yeah, that means until forever in Hebrew, and we're going to hear that song tonight.
We traveled to Israel and Palestine to do a lot of research and talk to a lot of...
If I should disappear, my darling, never fear. Still I will love you. Le'olam, le'olam, le'olam. I will love you till forever.
And the other show we featured last week was Jesse Sanchez and Jeff Chambers' musical Sueños. And that show follows 3 generations of a Mexican-American family as they pursue the American dream.
Yeah, and one of the actors in the presentation, Jason Hurtado, works in a hospital in New York City and is a first responder. He's in the healthcare management, running a radiology site directly working with COVID-19 patients. Take a look.
It's been kind of a crazy time working in a hospital in Manhattan right now. Radiology is a vital role.
Yes, I will be so much more, and they'll hear my song. They will feel the rhythm in me. They will feel what I'm meant to be. But music will make me something. That's how they'll see.
Wow. So as you can see, everybody, despite our distancing, we are still finding inventive and inspiring ways to be social and to still create live theater.
And we're going to continue to do it. We have 2 new musicals to share with you next week, streaming live on Wednesday, April 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. The new musicals are Sam's Room and Small Town Story.
Yeah, Sam's Room is written by Dale Sampson, Trey Coates Mitchell, Caitlin Marie Bell, and Mark Campbell. And it's a new musical inspired by real stories of nonverbal teens who find a way to communicate. Sam's Room highlights our universal struggle with communication. It reminds us of the value of human connection, and it shows the tenacity of the human spirit by giving a voice to the voiceless. The show was previously featured in New York Theater Barn's New Work series, and it's had developmental productions in 2017, and it was produced by us, New York Theater Barn, and At the Cell.
Yeah, I love Sam's Room so much, and we're going to be doing one of my favorite songs, which is called Sally's Song.
Yeah, and that's actually the song that is under New York Theater Barn's intro video that you just heard at the beginning of this stream.
Exactly, because I love it. The other musical is Small Town Story, which was conceived and commissioned by New York Theater Barn, written by Sammy Buck and Brandon James Gwynn. Small Town Story is about 2 families in North Texas who struggle with the community battle ignited by a controversial high school musical. As the escalation divides father and son, mother and daughter, leaders and neighbors, all sides must find a way to harmonize before their way of life rips apart.
And that controversial high school musical is the show Rent, which is, as we all know, it's a Tony Award-winning and Pulitzer Prize-winning show.
That's right. Small Town Story is a big part of New York Theater Barn's history, and we're extremely excited to be presenting songs from it next week. And we make a lot happen with very, very little, and we need your help.
Yes, New York Theater Barn is proud to keep original live theater alive during this unprecedented time.
Yep, we're a nonprofit theater company, and we're grateful for any tax-deductible donation that you can contribute.
And we will continue our mission of incubating new musicals in front of live audiences.
And thank you for being here to support live theater. Now let's get started. Tonight we begin with Frankie. Inspired by true events and written by 16-year-old writer Elise Marra, Frankie the Musical is the story of a teen lesbian struggling with her own coming of age while she is forced to stand in for her mentally checked out mother. When a mysterious illness strikes Frankie, it impels the revival of her dreams. I've been a part of Frankie's journey and have enjoyed watching the musical evolve and take shape. Frankie comes from the mind of a powerful new voice on the musical theater scene who is now joining us from her home in Commerce, Michigan. Hello, Elise Marra.
Hi, Elise.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
We're doing great. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you decided to write Frankie?
Yeah, Frankie was inspired by a girl I went to high school with, and I got to know her, and we got talking, and we started connecting, and I got to learn about the wonderful story that was her life, and I decided that more people should hear her story, and that the best way to do that would probably be a musical. So here we are.
Fantastic.
Can you tell us a little more about your development thus far?
The development so far, we had a 29-hour industry read this last August, and we just recorded our concept album this past February.
Fantastic. And to tell us a little bit more about that, let's bring on your producer, Ashley K. Adams of AKA Productions.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Ashley Kate.
Hey.
Being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I know Ashley started to tell us a little more. I know you have an album in the pipeline.
We do. I originally got to meet Elise in 2017. She was one of my students at a Class Act New York. And at the end of one of her sessions, she was like, we had 20 minutes left. She's like, can I play you some of my own music? And I was like, okay. She played me the song Take a Deep Breath from Frankie, and there has been no turning back since. We, as she said, we started development in early 2019 with the show. We did an incredible industry read of a 244 theater directed by Mr. Joe Barros and associate produced by your beautiful New York Theater Barn. And we just left the studio in February recording the studio cast recording, and we are so excited to announce that it will be released very soon on Broadway Records.
Wow. And who was a part of the album? I know a lot of great people were.
A lot of great people. Caitlin Kennanen, Jason Mote, Autumn Hurlbert, who you're going to hear in a hot second here, Jason Sweet Williams, Ali Trim, Delphi Borich.
Wow. Elise, what was it like working with all those people?
Amazing, as you can probably guess. Just the greatest people ever.
And wow, there's a lot of sirens outside my building. I'm sorry. Why Frankie now?
I mean, for me, Frankie is gay, but I think that's like not the point, like the main point of the story. And I think we're at a point where that can just kind of be something, and it doesn't have to be a huge deal. I don't know if that makes sense, but she just like, is.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that's really passionate, Elise is passionate about, and we're passionate about as the production team, is truly giving a voice to this next generation of writers. Because, you know, as we were discussing, I first heard her perform when she was 14, and she wrote this incredible musical then. So it's a true representation of their actual environment. So we wanted to make sure that voice is also heard.
Well, it sounds like it's a powerful story about women, written by women. So what could be better in a time like this?
Yeah,
That's right.
And I mean, I certainly wasn't writing a musical when I was 14. So you are a superstar.
Thank you.
Awesome. Elise, tell us about tonight's first song.
So tonight's first song is kind of the theme song for Frankie. It's called Take a Deep Breath, and it's the I Want song. Take a Deep Breath is the third song in the musical. And Frankie's just kind of been let down by someone that she cares a lot about, someone she was in a relationship with. And she just kind of has this deciding, like, she's at this decision point. And she's realized, you know, she's just going to take back her own life. So,
awesome.
So, with that being said, this is Take a Deep Breath from Frankie the Musical. I wanted back the perfect life I used to lead. So where'd it go? I open my eyes, don't recognize. So keep looking straight ahead. My life's not my own. So many days doing what they say. So where'd it go? I wanna live life my way. Just another day and another life that doesn't feel like my own. Still I do the work and I put in the time, but I don't get a return. And I know that
Wow.
Every time I hear that song, I love it even more. Beautiful work, Elise.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us who's here to sing the second song.
So with us, we have Autumn Hurlbert, and she just recorded. Hi, Autumn. And Autumn Hurlbert from Legally Blonde and Something Rotten. And she's here to sing the song You're Home from Frankie the Musical. And this song comes in at the end of Act 1, where Frankie's mother has kind of decided to try to rejoin the family. So she does it through a powerful ballad. So here to sing You're Home from Frankie the Musical is Autumn Hurlbert.
Yeah.
Yay! All right, here goes. The day was dark, I sat alone, waiting for you. I couldn't guess how much one kid could change my life. From the moment you walked in the room, I knew you were just what I was needing. Though you never said a word, I could tell you were exactly what I was missing. Your face looked scared and also unsure. I took your hand, I squeezed it tight and said, "You're home." Your eyes lit up the room. I remember that smile. You hugged me and a tear rolled down my cheek, and I said, "You're home." Then days went by and you grew up right before my eyes. I sheltered you as best I could. At least I tried. From the moment you left a room, I knew I was needing something. Though you barely said a word, I already began to feel I missed you. I know you missed me so much, I wish that I had been there too. See that old smile just for a while before I'm losing you. Each time you light up the room, I remember that same old smile. You don't hug me, but a tear rolls down my cheek because you're home. You're home.
Yeah.
I love that song.
We love it too. Thank you for
Awesome.
being on tonight, Autumn.
Thank you for having me. Team Frankie forever. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this show. You're
Thank you.
wonderful. And this is amazing. I love this programming.
Awesome. And thank you so much, Elise, for your beautiful, beautiful work. And thank you to Ashley Kate Adams, amazing producer, who's done amazing things with the show. She's a fantastic producer who's telling new stories in new ways. And
you
it's
can
amazing.
check out Frankie in May when the album comes out.
Awesome. Thanks, Autumn. Thanks, Elise.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
See ya. All right. Before we begin the second half of tonight's program, we wanted to share with you an innovative quarantine project created by New York City actor and entrepreneur and friend of New York Theater Barn, Hansel Tan.
Yeah, Hansel has created quarantine cocktails for short. Q-Cox is the short version. And Q-Cox is an invite-only price-sharing cocktail cooperative that delivers a great, ready-to-drink creation from the modern mixology movement straight to your doorstep at the cost price of ingredients. And let's take a look. He's prepared a little video for us.
It's happy hour. How about a night day or a whiskey sour? With struggles day in and day out, it's our oasis in the drought. A big slice of paradise, and who could beat the price? And how? It's happy hour now. Ooh la la la, a great escape from ooh la la la, the daily humdrum. Ooh la la la, it's happy hour now.
All right, and here to tell us more about Q-Cox is Chief Thirst Officer Hansel Tan.
Hi, Hansel. I love that title.
Hi guys. How's it going?
Sorry to interrupt.
I am not drunk, promise you. Thanks so much for having me on. This has been a crazy project. Yeah, thanks, Joe. I know you're the recipient of some of our drinks, so thank you for having me here. The idea started basically, the moment we all got out of work, we were sitting down. I remember I was in a virtual chat room with like 20 of my friends drinking like the 30th vodka tonic. And I was like, it's got to be better than this. And I spent many years in the restaurant scene, did mixology for large scale events. And I went, hey, you guys, what if I took all the skills I've learned over the past decade in my life and sort of did scale it down to like a ready-made cocktail for all my friends, and we made it a co-op. So we basically share the cost price of the cocktail, split it amongst everybody. And then me, I'll just jump on the train, I'll get on my bike, and I'll go and deliver it to everybody. And that's how it started. Like the first week, I did a mezcal cocktail. We started off with 19 people. The next week, somehow word got around and we skyrocketed to 65 bottles. The week after that, even more. And this week, we're about 100 bottles. So it's really fun. We premiere a completely new alcoholic creation every single week. Co-op members reserve their bottles. And then it goes out on Thursday, Friday, right to their doorstep. That's how it works.
Wow, and you have so many fun clients. I think I saw Julie James. I saw Norm Lewis, Kristen Chenoweth.
Maybe I'm not allowed to say, but we've given out bottles to a lot of people, and it's been word of mouth only, and it's been mainly actually within the theatrical community, which I absolutely love. It's creating these wonderful cocktails for the people we love.
Well, last week's was a lot of fun, and it was very strong.
Yes.
So looking forward to this week.
Yeah, they come in bottles like these. They're 16 ounces, which means there are 4 cocktails worth inside. They come already pre-diluted and ready to pour on ice. If you feel it's a little too strong, you may even want to shake it up with a shaker and just strain it. It's word of mouth only. If you want to find out more, you can totally email me. I'm very happy to talk about it. My email is hansel@qcox.com. We also have a new IG page. We are at qcocktails.com. Sorry, just qcocktails on Instagram.
Put it up one more time for people.
I was going to say that 3 times fast, but then you said it 3 times.
Thank you for lifting people's spirits during this time. It's
been so much fun.
Yeah, and thank you for gifting Jen and I each a bottle this week.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy it.
Wait to try Sorrel and Spring at the end of the week. I'm really, really excited. I'm counting down now.
And it's it's a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Hansel. We'll let you know how it tastes. Awesome. Now on to the second half of our presentation, Agent 355, the musical.
Yeah, and the cult perspiring famously helped George Washington win the American Revolution. But there's one secret: they never revealed the identity of the single female member, Agent 355. Now an all-female TGNC punk rock band will reveal the truth about the unknown woman that helped America's first spy ring outwit them all. Challenging a history written by men, Agent 355 explores the loyalty, heritage, and courage of 6 real revolutionary women whose stories, sacrifices, and secrets shape the nation. And the writers Preston Maxown and Jessica Kahkoska are now joining us. And they're actually all in New York City tonight, which I think this is the first time this has ever happened in the 4 times we've done this so far. And that shouldn't be a big deal, but right now it is.
Well, we're sticking it out.
All 4 of us are all in New York right now.
Yeah, it's good to see
Awesome.
everyone.
We have been so excited about your shows, Where the Tigers and Letters to the President, and we're even more excited about this really inventive idea for a musical. Can you tell us how you came up with this idea?
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of initially started percolating 3-ish years ago. We didn't start writing it till about a year later, but it was very much this moment of genre-based musicals based on historical figures. Hamilton had just come out. We have several friends who were doing things along that vein, and I was kind of sitting at a coffee shop with a friend and was like, I want to do a genre-based historical musical, and of course it would be punk, and of course it would be about a woman. And then I just Googled famous women in history, and this is one of those moments where you're kind of just like joking around with a friend. But then when I saw Agent 355, I was kind of, my interest was piqued, and I was like, oh, what would it be like to write a musical about someone who no one knows? And it seemed like a really interesting opportunity to really take a deep dive into history and explore a bunch of women and not just one. And of course, that is not my strong suit, so I put it away for a while until Jess reached out and wrote me. And Jess, why don't you speak for a little bit about what you wrote me about?
We were just talking about building a historical project together and something that really can actively explore history as much as tell stories from it. So obviously exploring the unknown female identity of the unknown member of the spy ring feels like a pretty ambitious task.
It's ambitious, but it seems smart, and it seems to have garnered the attention of some prolific theatrical institutions. So tell us a little bit about the show's development.
Yeah.
So like Preston said, we sort of talked about it for about 6 months, and then we were really fortunate to get something called the Marion International Fellowship from the Chautauqua Institution, and that gave us some residencies at the UCross Foundation in SUNY Fredonia to get started thinking and researching. And since then, we've done some concert moments at LPR in New York City. We were actually just in Phoenix right before all of this happened, at beautiful Phoenix Theater Company, and we've done residencies, the Musical Theater Factory, developmental residency. We did a roundabout Space Jam last summer at Bucks County Playhouse. We did an At the Table residency with Village Theater, and most recently last summer, we did a new play workshop at Chautauqua Theater Company.
Fantastic. Wow. Speaking of musical theater, at 8 o'clock tonight, Akina Nafak's Manifest Pussy from Joe's Pub will be streaming on YouTube.
So we're excited about this show, and we have 2 songs tonight.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
What is our first song tonight? We have Monet joining us.
Yes, we are joined by Monet Sabel, who has been a 355 alum who has done it with us in Chautauqua. And this is, like we said, we explore several different women who are associated with the members of the Culper Ring, all who are identified, and then none of the women, none of the Agent 355 who was mentioned in a letter was never identified, and they were never able to figure out who it was. So this show kind of in chapters, as a rock band, this band explores who each of the women might have been and how they were connected to the ring. So the woman we're about to hear from right now is Mary Underhill. She is a sister of one of the leaders of the ring, Abraham Woodhull. She, in history, what we know about her is she ran an inn. She was Abraham's sister, and she may have been Agent 355 because people were kind of cycling in and out of the inn. So she's kind of a long shot, but we have a lot of fun with her because there is so little to know that we can kind of take some of our own paths. And in this song, it's kind of towards the beginning of the show, Abraham's really nervous about his journey and the start of the Culper Ring, and he goes to have a pep talk with his sister.
Let's bring on Monet. Hi, Monet.
Hi. Thanks for having me, guys. All right, here we go. This is Running Home.
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
What kind of person are you? Do you really want to leave it all behind? Will that give you peace of mind? Hey, if you think you're okay when you're out of that fray, pack a bag and run. Call it off and you'll be done. Nobody's tying you down if you don't stick around. That's your calling, so we're all gonna you go. But when you're far away from home, you hear the beating of our hearts, you smell our sweat and blood, and you'd come running. Oh, when you're far away from home, your mind will never leave our side. You miss the hopeful nights, and you'd come running home. You pick a fight with the gods, never look at the odds. They may not be hot, but you give it all you got. Safe doesn't mean that you're free. You just don't have to see how it falls apart. Band-aid on a broken heart. Safe isn't always so clear. Would you wish you were here on the battleground if you didn't stick around? 'Cause when you're far away from home, you hear the beating of our hearts, smell our sweat and blood, and you'd come running. Oh, when you're far away from home, your mind will never leave our side. You miss the hopeful nights, you'd come running home. You'd come running home. 'Cause when I'm fighting for my home, I hear the beating of our hearts. I smell our sweat and blood, and I'm not running. When I'm fighting for my home, I never leave my brother's side. We live for hopeful nights and send them running home. Send them running home. Send them running.
I love that song. Yay. Monet did a production of this in the past, right? Or she had development work with you on this already?
We had a beautiful 10 days in Chautauqua upstate where we worked on this show and got to do a kind of very full out workshop that involved set and costumes. And Monet played Anna Smith-Strong and John Simcoe, a very exciting track of one of the women who was actually one of the most defined members within the Culper Ring, who was most associated. And then also the villain, the British
The
villain.
like frattiest British bro you can imagine.
I love the production photo of Monet in the red shirt with the sunglasses, and then there's like a book. Someone's holding a book.
Yes.
The Valentine, yeah.
Yeah, that was my attempt at seducing a young gal. You know.
Awesome, beautiful, beautiful work, Monet.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the second song. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Sure. Well, actually, the young woman that Monet was seducing in the song in the red jumpsuit is the character that I'm playing in this song.
I like this segue.
So Sally Townsend is one of the possible Agent 355 women, and she was 17 years old when the Revolutionary War was happening, which is sort of incredible to think about what it would have felt like to have been a teenager when the American Revolution was going on. And her position in history is really interesting because she lived in a house that was being quartered or basically overrun by British soldiers during their stay in New York City. And her house was sort of famously overrun by the most, like Monet was describing, bravado British general John Graves Simcoe. And it is presumed that they might have had some kind of romantic connection. And if so, that's a really interesting position for Sally, whose brother was in the spy ring and was living in a house with both of these men and, sister to the spy ring, and also maybe found herself falling in love. It's just a really interesting position. And so this is actually one of the first songs that Preston is one of the first songs we wrote, right?
It was me first. It had a chorus for about a year, and then once you joined the project, I was able to finish the song.
Yeah, so this is Kind Eyes. Let me just pull it up here. You have these kind eyes, you hear love songs. A man with kind eyes can take your heart away, because a bad boy can give a good glance, and in a heartbeat, your heart's in it to stay. But there is heartbreak in all these bright nights, lit up with kind eyes like stars in the sky. So if you want me, you'll have to finally be more than just seeming like a nice guy. 'Cause I don't wanna hold on to it, loving when there's nothing there. You see the world and I see a moment, and I don't wanna be swept aside. Glances on a lonely night. You are my life and I'm just a moment. And all your kind words and whispered love songs that promise kind words mean all the things they say. And if the bad news is it's the right guy at all the wrong times, you better stay away, because a kind girl might pull the right strings to kill her big dreams to try and save the day. So whisper goodbyes and take your last lies and take your kind eyes before I make you stay. 'Cause I don't wanna hold on to it, hanging on the words you swear. You see the world and I see a moment, and I won't stand here like a child, heartbeat running wild, when I could change the world in a moment. 'Cause a quiet kid didn't look dangerous in the start, but she's listening, oh, but she's listening. A quiet kid didn't look dangerous at the start, but you're missing is, oh, what you're missing is, I don't hold on to it. Why am I standing at all? I have these kind eyes, you hear love songs. A girl with kind eyes could break your heart. I don't wanna hold on to it when I know it's always there. I have my home and you are a moment, and I won't run from what I know. Love has come to let you go. Oh, it was perfect just in that moment.
Storyteller. I feel like such a beautiful, beautiful storyteller. I feel like that song.
Thank you.
I feel like that song speaks to our lives right now. I love the lyric, you see the world and I see a moment. What a beautiful, beautiful metaphor.
Yeah. It begs the question, what did Preston know and when did he know it?
Oh no, oh my God. I would have bought a townhouse in the deep country if I had known anything in advance.
I mean, I love a townhouse in the country.
Well, you make a fantastic team. So thank you, Jessica, Preston, and Monet.
And we can't wait to see what happens at the show next.
Thank you, us too.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. And before we head out, we'd like to thank some people.
Yeah, we'd like to thank Hector Flores Jr., who has been making video for us every week. Thank you, Hector.
I'd like to thank Deborah Brescia and Holly Levin for their song Happy Hour from the musical A Taste of Things to Come, which was under the Q-Cox video.
Absolutely. And Autumn was in that, actually, who was here before.
He sure was at the York Theater Company. We'd also like to thank Katie Kearns for her incredible work with New York Theater Burns Media and social media. She has done a Herculean job for us over the past 5 years. So thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you, Katie. And we'd like to thank our board of directors for their support throughout all of this.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you, Jen. It's been a lot of fun collaborating with you.
Thank you, Joe. I feel the same way. It's been great. And this whole thing has been such a labor of love while we can't be in a real theater together.
Absolutely. It's keeping me sane, and honestly, it's keeping me alive.
Oh my God, me too.
So that's our show for tonight. Thank you for being part of this live stream presentation of New York Theater Barn's new work series.
And as we said, we're really excited about next week's new work series next Wednesday, and we're going to have excerpts from Sam's Room and Small Town Story.
So thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of tonight's live presentation.
Good night, everybody.